This is Inside Badger Football with head coach Trey Shucker. Inside Badger Football is brought to you by Bell Wealth Services, Welch Funeral Home, Wingfield Properties, Southern Bancorp, Southwest Sporting Goods, Turner, Rogers, Manning, and Plyler, Taylor King Law, Trinity Temple Assembly of God, Doctors Rob and Gary Rucker, Eccles, Thompson, and Kneebone CPA, South Central Connect, Java Primo, Southwest Auto Group, R&T Dixon Enterprises, Ludwig's Bakery, the law offices of Gina White, Patterson Federal Credit Union, Batson Signs, Print Mania, Scott Bird DDS, Sexton Law Firm, Chad Kesterson Shelter Insurance, Chicken Express, Pediatrics Plus, and Providence Veterinary Care. The host of Inside Badger Football is Cooper Dar.
Welcome to a Thanksgiving edition of Inside Badger Football with Trey Shucker. I'm Chris Babb, sitting in for Cooper Dar, gone home for Thanksgiving week. And Coach, anytime you can get together over Thanksgiving week to talk football, that means your guys are still in the playoffs. It's an exciting time during of high school football. You're in the quarterfinals of the 4A state playoffs, and it's just exciting to be able to talk about what the week that was and the week that is to come.
Yeah, this is something that we've done quite a bit around here, but it's something that you can't take for granted because it takes a lot of effort to get to this point. Our kids have done a great job all season of being consistent, and that's really what led us to get to here. If we're still playing in Thanksgiving week, that's a good thing, and we're excited for the opportunity.
We'll talk more about Thanksgiving week here after we look at the highlights, but let's get to the Gentry game. It was a game in which you really took advantage of the mistakes. You hear coaches a lot of times saying playing complementary football. I've heard that term more this season at every level than anything, but it is really a matter of when your defense forces a turnover, your offense taking advantage of that, or whenever the other team gives you an opportunity to take advantage of that. And I thought Friday night your team did that really well.
We did, and we have been, and it got away quick just because of that. I mean, when the defense can go out, get the offense off the field, create a turnover. We were able to put up points on the board on defense, but then flip around, special teams goes out and creates another good field position. Our offense goes out, with good field position from the defense or from a special teams play, and executes just something really quick to be able to get points on the board. Those points really add up quick. Scoring in multiple ways of the game is big. So, the complementary football, when all three phases are working together, creating good field position for whatever is on the field, offense or defense, it really helps out just the flow of the game. It helps our kids to get into the rhythm of the game. And once we got into a rhythm, it just kind of escalated.
Coach, you and I have talked in post-game interviews a lot about, and in our pregame interview before each broadcast, about the big plays and also sustaining drives. As a coach, you'd like to be able to see your team sustain drives, but you're also not going to turn down the big play. And you had a couple of those Friday night that really set the tone early.
Yeah, we did, and we jumped out quick. We challenged our kids to start the game fast. In the previous week against Ozark, we gave up a first opening kickoff touchdown, and we didn't want to start that way. We wanted to start faster. We wanted to, try to jump on them quick, and we did. We created explosive plays on offense, explosive plays on defense as well. And it just we'd like to be able to sustain drives, show that we can, but we haven't had to, and we're never going to turn that down. Like you said, just putting up explosive points on the boards, big time for momentum. Just puts points on the board quickly, and that's why the score gets the way it gets.
We'll see a big play from Orion Roberts here in a second, and also McCoy to Wagner. It's not like you're going to tell those guys to, why don't you go slide down on the 20 instead of taking the free touchdown early in the game. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of those highlights from Friday night. A beautiful Friday night at Badger Stadium, a great atmosphere. In talking to some opposing coaches who come to Badger Stadium, they note that their players notice the atmosphere that's created. Both teams started the game, not really doing a whole lot. Arkadelphia actually went for it on fourth down, didn't get the first down conversion. Then your defense comes out, forces a punt, and here's Braden Wagner with a punt return. And you talk about special teams really setting the stage. Braden Wagner did that and sets up this from Orion Roberts.
Those punt returns from Braden Wagner all night. He had three really good ones, just creating the field position, better than what it would have been had he had not return the punts. And then, this was the first play of that drive just opening play of the drive, we brought him in motion and got it to him on a sweep. And then Ryan just showed his speed and how strong of a runner he is. He broke a tackle in space. And once he gets open and opens his stride up, nobody's going to catch him. He's the fastest guy on our team.
Talk about kickoff coverage. It looked as if the kickoff return from Ozark had kind of got the kickoff coverage attention and really put Gentry in field position. Talk about this play here. Gentry shifts everybody out, and you kind of knew that they were going to try to take advantage of something, but your defense knew what was coming and forced an incomplete pass.
Yeah, I thought our defense did a really good job getting lined up to the shift and to the formation. And just stayed disciplined, kept everything in front, and ultimately they had to throw the ball away, and so it was kind of a busted play for them.
This was a Gentry offense that you mentioned before the game, likes to run but will pass if they have to. I thought your run defense really forced them into throwing the ball. Had a couple of passes that we'll see, but really for the most part, your defense controlled the game.
We did. To be honest with you, this is probably one of the biggest teams that we've played this year in terms, the offensive line size. You look out there and they're 6'4", 280. They're big across the front, and I thought our defense played with the physicality that we needed to stop the run and force them to have to pass, and then we've got the skill players behind it to be able to defend their passing game. So, very proud of our defense, how they stood up to the test. Gentry is a good football team. They're the 3 seed coming out of the top 1 conference. Mm-hmm. And there could have been arguments made there where they could have been a little bit higher of a seed than that. But, they've had a really good season, just a really good football team. I was really proud of how our guys responded and how we executed on the night in all phases of the game.
Here's another one of the big plays, Braden Wagner making a great catch, but then also the run after the catch, kind of fending off defenders to get to the end zone. 3rd touchdown of the night for Arkadelphia as you start the first quarter.
Yeah, that was a huge play for us, and that was kind of a momentum sealer. After that play, I think we probably had the momentum for the rest of the night. Braden Wagner, just a huge night in all phases of the game. We'd already talked about his punt returns for us, but just making a play over a defender like that, McCoy gave him a ball that he could go up and get, made the play over the defender, and then broke the tackles in space and used the speed to go get in the end zone for a deep, explosive play.
It's 20-0 here, and I want to go back to that the trick play on the punt. It was a pass thrown to look like a punt, hoping to catch the punt coverage team asleep. But I saw some of our Arkadelphia players pointing up in the air like that was a pass. It seemed as if they were expecting something like that might happen.
Well, we knew just in the playoffs that anything can happen. Teams are going to throw stuff at you that they probably haven't before. Every opponent's going to have their little niche, and so the biggest thing we do is teach them to be ready for anything. In a punt situation, be ready for a fake. Don't be surprised if there is one. Don't be surprised if they try to line up certain way or something that you've not seen. So we've just got to be alert and we've got to be ready, and our guys did a really good job of that.
All right, we're in the second quarter here. Arkadelphia went for it on 4th down. The pass was knocked away, and then Gentry had one of their first big plays of the game. It really got them inside the red zone for the first time. We start the second quarter here, and I thought this was a huge point in the game for your defense to come up with stops, and then your special teams to make a big play that kind of thwarted any momentum Gentry could have had and really kind of sealed the game early.
It really did, and they on this drive they made some plays. They sustained the drive, but ultimately it's that bend but don't break mentality that we've got on defense, and we bent, but we did not break in the end. Got them close and didn't allow them to get any points. You're about to see that they tried to kick a field goal and it just didn't go well for them. So here it is. Played really well on the 3rd down, prevented a score, and then we don't want to give them anything. So we're trying to prevent those points from getting on the board. Just because people line up to kick a field goal or a PAT for that matter doesn't mean it's just free points. We're going to try to go take it back from them, and we really did a really good job of just executing the whole deal on it.
They got a 4th and long conversion on that drive in the red zone. Then Kelton Wilson comes up with the interception after the low snap. Talon Williams had to get rid of the ball right into the hands of Wilson. That made it 27-0. And here you see Bryson McCoy on the keeper later in the second quarter to make it 34-0. All of our highlights today in this package will come from the first half. The halftime score was 46-0, but that made it 34-0 and really sealed the game early in the second quarter.
Yeah, at this point we're playing with a comfortable lead. We don't want to take our foot off the gas in any way, shape, or form. And so we're preaching, just continue to execute, continue to do the things that your coach do all week. Stay alert on things also. We don't want to give up anything. And so right here, we just Kelton Wilson, another big play.
Yeah. Second interception of the night.
Yeah, he went up, elevated, and really took the ball from the receiver. The receiver's in the right spot.
Caden Whitaker comes in into the backfield as running back here. Caden's given you great effort all season. Saw a good run there, a good catch out of the backfield on this one to set up another touchdown. You bring Malachi Hamilton in a little bit later. You had Kyle Reed. So your ability to kind of bring a new person in is a great pass here from McCoy to Maddox Finley for a touchdown. So your ability to bring guys in and just kind of plug and play has been key this season, especially on offense.
Yeah, and early in the season, we did rotate some guys in there at the running back spot to try to keep Kyle healthy and just keep him fresh. But those guys have been able to develop over the course of the season, and they played really well for us in the running back spot. We mentioned the different guys that we've got, Caden Whitaker, Malachi Hamilton that came in and ran the ball hard. And so Kyle Reed has been doing a phenomenal job at the running back spot, but those next guys in are doing a really good job as well, coming in and getting some positive yards and running the ball hard.
Orion Roberts with a pass breakup. Coach, your defense really kept Gentry out of rhythm, forced the issue rather than letting the offense pick them apart. And that ends up with, the offense taking advantage of those. And here we're going to see Malachi Hamilton on a run, and this ends in Maddox Finley's second touchdown catch of the game from McCoy. Coach, Bryson McCoy in the last two games, I believe that's going to be our last highlight. Bryson McCoy in the last two games, 4 quarters, 10 touchdown passes, and those are in the first half of each of those games. That was week. Just a fantastic effort from your offense, and Bryson McCoy is really has a command of this offense right now. He
really does. He's just the confidence that he's been able to gain through the course of the season. He's playing really good football right now, and everybody around him is allowing him to. The front line has done a really good job of keeping him clean in the pass game. Our run game has been really effective also to kind of, draw defenders in, and then the skill players out wide, the wide receivers. As you saw, they're making plays. McCoy, he's got to put the ball in the vicinity, and they're going and getting it. Kind of like that you saw on the highlight earlier with Braden Wagner going and high pointing the ball and making people miss. Jay Purefoy, I know he had a quiet night, but he's been playing really good football also. And then Maddox Finley stepped up Friday, and he caught a couple touchdowns. So Orion Roberts, the other one that we talked about, he touched the ball 2 times and was a 80-yard touchdown. So, when you've got the type of guys that we've got and how they've been able to develop and gain the confidence over the course of the season, just the way they're playing right now, it all fits.
Coach, I think what I take out of that as just a fan is you mentioned Jay Purefoy had a quiet night. Mm-hmm. Jay is, if not the most electric, one of the most electric players on the team.
No doubt.
You get him in space, he can move a pile when he gets going forward. But you did this a lot of times without him. If a defense is going to try to shut down 3, you can go 1, 5, 9, 7, pick a single digit, pick a double digit, and so that's got to feel good as someone who likes the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, it does. It makes it fun, and then just being able to be as explosive as we are makes it fun also. We're able to put up points quickly as long as we're able to execute the plays. Right. And that's the thing that I've talked about for past however many weeks now is the consistency. If we can play with consistency, our kids are being allowed to make the plays they're making as long as they do what they're supposed to do. And then also, special teams and defense, the way they're playing right now, allowing our offense to play with good field position. There's not many times this season, maybe even the past couple months, that we've had to go a full field. And that helps also. The explosive plays show that we can. We've had to sustain some drives throughout the past few weeks. But we're playing with good field position. That's also helping out.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the players of the week for the Gentry game. Again, just one sponsored player of the week each week during the playoffs. And, Coach, this week the award goes to Braden Wagner, and I think I might have been able to pick that one.
Yeah, if anybody watched the game, I think they would know that number one probably is the player of the week. Braden Wagner, huge plays on offense. Also had some really, really nice returns in the special teams area to put ourselves in good field position. Didn't play as much on defense, but the plays that he was in, he was effective. But just a huge night overall for our team and Braden Wagner.
Still have a Badger Spirit Award winner each week during the playoffs, and this week, Coach, one of the unsung heroes.
Right.
This is one of those positions. Casey Pye, the deep snapper. It's one of those positions that you only notice if there's a bad snap. And Casey Pye has been good for the Badger special teams all season.
Yeah, no doubt. Casey Pye is our long snapper. He also plays some fullback, some backup fullback. And, that just kind of shows you how he is and why he's our Badger Spirit Award winner. He's always willing to do what it takes to help us out and make the team better. Just because he's a long snapper, he's wanting to get in and play ball. And so he's helping us out in our special teams, obviously, and then just our scout team looks, always giving us a look at whatever it is we need him to, whether it's fullback or tight end or a linebacker, whatever he needs to do, he's doing it. And then also, whenever we're playing during practice, he's the kind of guy, long snappers aren't part of just the normal flow of the practice.
Right.
But he's also the guy that kind of keeps up with where the ball's being spotted and just allows our offense to move and just play ball. And so it's one less thing that we've got to worry about. He's been doing that for the past couple of years now, but just really a selfless player, just whatever it takes to help the team and make us better. Congratulations to our Badger Spirit Award winner, Casey Pye, and our Player of the Week, Braden Wagner. Coach, two teams left in the playoffs from the 4A7, Arkadelphia and Malvern. You see the results there from the 4A7. Malvern, the 2 seed, gets a home win over Highland, 34-7. We talked about the Badgers' 46-14 victory over Gentry. And that means it's time for the quarterfinals. Malvern and Arkadelphia will be 2 teams on the road this weekend in the 4A state quarterfinals. Those are the 4 games, the 8 teams left in Class 4A as the teams try to make their way to War Memorial Stadium in 3 weeks. Take a look at those games. Arkadelphia at Dardanelle, Monticello at Southside, Warren at Mills, and Malvern at Elkins. 2 teams each from the 4A7 and the 4A8. 1 team left from each of the remaining conferences. And incidentally, those 2 teams from the 4A7 and the 4A8 will all be on the road this weekend. Coach, let's take first, before we get into talking about Dardanelle, let's talk about Thanksgiving week. Every year since you've been here, you've been able to do this, and I know that this is something that was started either in 2015 or 17, I don't remember, but Arkadelphia has played past Thanksgiving every year every season except for 1, going back to 2013. Thursday morning, it's been a tradition. We started this in 2015 or 17 with Coach Eldridge. You've carried that on as well, to be able to invite former players up to the field house at 8 o'clock Thursday morning, Thanksgiving morning, to kind of talk to the team. And now you have so many years in a row, going back to 2017, it's been every year, and then 15, 14, and 13 before that. But it's even teams from 1971, 1979, 87. We have representatives from all those teams come up and kind of talk to your guys before you go out for that Thanksgiving practice. And from an observer who's been able to be there and see some of those, it kind of helps, gives perspective to those young men that are dressing out on Friday night to understand that they're part of something bigger than themselves, and there's a rich tradition and heritage and history of success in the Arkadelphia football program. There is, and like you said, there's guys that come from all kinds of different classes. We've got some of the guys from those 80s, 70s and 80s that show up and like to talk to the team, and then we've got some guys as recent as last year, typically, and some of the state championship teams come by. Some of those guys that were on those teams come by and like to, talk to the team and talk about what it means to play on Thanksgiving, how special it is. And when you look back, and we've done it for all the way since 2013, except for 1 season. It's easy to take that for granted. Absolutely. I've talked to a lot of coaches out there, and there's a lot of really good coaches that have never got to coach on Thanksgiving, or they've done it only once or twice. And it's become a yearly thing here, and so we're very fortunate to be able to be like that. There is an expectation involved. We do have an expectation that this is something that we just do, and that's good to have. But we do need to celebrate it also. Right. And so having those alumni come up and speak to the team and just talk about what it means to play this week, how to handle the week, how to the opponents get really good the later you go, and Thanksgiving and on is all good opponents. But just having that extra motivation, just reiterating to the team that they are part of something, they're part of a legacy, they're part of a rich program that has a tradition of winning, and it means something. Being a Badger football player is a special thing, and there's a lot of people that in the past that have kind of set the tone and set the path for where we are today, and our job is to keep it going and be the best that we can be Friday night.
So we'll put this out Tuesday of Thanksgiving week. So any alumni who see this, kind of give them the details of when and where they can come on Thursday morning.
Yeah, so it'll be at our field house, our football facility at the stadium. We'll start practice at 8 o'clock, and so at 8 o'clock we'll have coffee and donuts, and we'll allow the alumni to start off in the green room in our field house and just kind of give their words of inspiration to the team, and just talk to them wherever they want to go with that. Just real quick, a couple-minute deal. And, typically there's, 10, 12 guys that show up. And so we'll allow each guy to have the opportunity to speak. If they don't want to, that's fine too. Right. But just being there and having their presence there is making a difference also. And so, but we'll start at 8 o'clock on Thursday morning, and then we'll probably finish up. They can come in, eat coffee and donuts, talk to the team, and they can stick around and watch practice if they want. If they don't, if they want to go about their Thanksgiving day, that's fine too. But just being able to show up and be there for the team is important.
It's a neat time when you guys start practice, and we're sticking around some of the guys who were playing when I was working there, and some of the coaches even come back as well. Inevitably, stories are told, some true, some probably not so true, and they get embellished year by year. But it's a neat time for those guys to sit and kind of reminisce and remember as well. So if you're in town, we'd love to invite you to come to the Badger Fieldhouse Thursday morning at 8 o'clock. Coach, now let's move our attention to Dardanelle. State quarterfinals, mentioned one of those years, 2015, last time Arkadelphia and Dardanelle played each other. I did look at the forecast, and there's not much rain, if any, in the forecast for this week. And for those of us who were there in 2015, we're very thankful that it's not gonna be raining. That was the muddiest game, and probably ended up in the ruining of more clothes than I've ever been associated with in a football game. But let's talk about the Dardanelle Sand Lizards. Coach Vega has had a fantastic program as well. And this is a team that is on a mission. They're a very talented football team. It starts with their quarterback, Creed Vega. What can we expect to see from Dardanelle Friday night in the quarterfinal at their place?
Well, they're a really, really good football team. They're big on both sides of the ball up front. You're going to see an emotionally vested football team. Coach Vega's the head football coach. You just mentioned him. Their starting quarterback and outside linebacker is his oldest son. And so they're very emotionally vested, So they're going to play with a lot of emotion. They're going to play a lot of energy. They get excited over everything, and so it's going to be an exciting environment. We like to play with energy and excitement too, and so we don't typically always get to play somebody that's kind of the same way we are, but we're going to get to do that Friday, and they're a really good football team, and we've got to be prepared. They're physical. They're good at what they do. They like to line up on offense. They like to line up in different formations. They will run the quarterback. Creed Vega, he's a heck of a runner. He's a bigger kid. He's 6'1", 6'2", probably 220. Fast, strong. He's their best player. Then out wide, they've got a couple of receivers that can go also, and Creed can throw the ball well enough to get it to them. On defense, they're big up front. They like to stop the run. I mean, the linebackers are playing downhill. They're physical. They're good tacklers. And then the secondary is some of those same skill guys on offense that flip around and play defense. So they're very skilled behind it.
Coach, you and I talked throughout the season in the pregame show that at some point you're going to have a game where you have punch, counter punch, punch, counter punch.
Yeah.
You've not had too many of those this year. Obviously, the non-conference schedule is why you scheduled, for reasons like this is why you schedule those non-conference games. Yeah. You mentioned the Malvern game, but this seems to be one of those that Arkadelphia fans have been used to two-quarter football games. This does not seem like it's going to be one of those two-quarter football games.
At this point in the season, we can't expect a two-quarter football game, and that's something that I try to talk to our team about, just so they're not shocked if it's not. If we've got to be in a dogfight for 4 quarters, we've got to be ready for that. And You know, we've only played 2 quarters of football since October. And, you know, I started talking to the team about that when we got into the playoffs, and here we are week 3 of the playoffs. But it's no different. You know, the deeper you go into the playoffs, the better the teams get. And so you just can't expect to go out there and things be easy. You got to be ready for adversity. You've got to be ready for, you might even have to play from behind at some point. You know, hopefully we don't, but, you know, you just got to be ready for anything. We've got to be ready to overcome anything. You know, we're on the road this week. We're not in the safety of our home stadium. We've got to go on the road to Dardanelle. We've got to play on some grass. The weather's going to be fine, but, you know, it's just going to be a different environment than what we're used to, and so we've got to be ready for that.
Well, Coach, good luck. Happy Thanksgiving. Look forward to seeing you Friday night in Dardanelle. It's the Badgers and the Sand Lizards, the quarterfinals of the 2024 4A state playoffs. We hope we will see you in Dardanelle. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock. Again, as is the case for all of the state playoffs, tickets are available on the GoFan app, digital tickets only. If you can't make it to the game, we invite you to watch the broadcast. Jeff Root, Cooper Dar will bring you the action from the River Valley. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock. Pregame show starts at 6:30, and we invite you to watch that game on ArkadelphiaBadgerTV.com/broadcast or your Arkadelphia Badger or Mascot Media app. I'm glad I was been able to sit in for Cooper. It's Thanksgiving week. So, Cooper, I also like to thank Jackson Carter, Jill Batson, and Millie Babb for helping us get this show done this weekend. Until next week, hopefully Cooper will be back with Coach Shucker. Go Badgers.
Go Badgers.
Inside Badger Football is brought to you by Bell Wealth Services, Welch Funeral Home, Wingfield Properties, Southern Bancorp, Southwest Sporting Goods, Turner, Rogers, Manning, and Plyler, Taylor King Law, Trinity Temple Assembly of God, Doctors Rob and Gary Rucker, Eccles, Thompson, and Kneebone CPA, South Central Connect, Java Primo, Southwest Auto Group, R&T Dixon Enterprises.